bring you the highlights of those Cardinal athletes that have made it to their ultimate goal. Lots to celebrate. Some things will make you hang your head. Back-to-back doubles for this young man. Here we go. Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, it's state tournament time.
Yes.
We talked about the Cardinal Nordic skiers who were at state last week, and now 4 more athletes have punched their tickets to their biggest dance of the season.
It's very exciting stuff.
We start with the wrestling team. The Cardinals wrestling team has relied on its captains all season long, and they've delivered. Now 3 of them are headed to the state tournament. For 2 of them, it's a last chance. For the other, it's a second straight trip in just his sophomore season. All 3 have battled with a chip on their shoulder all year. Now they've reached the final proving ground. Anoka High School hosting all the section tournament action on Saturday. The Cardinals' 4th captain, heavyweight Hayden Skillings, got a great start with a dominant 15-4 major decision over Elk River's Sam Curtin. Unfortunately, he lost 2 of the next 3, and he would finish 4th overall. But he's a junior. He will have a chance again next year. Jack Bridenstine was the 106-pound champion as a freshman, now going at 133 as a sophomore. He started the tournament with a tech fall and follows it with a major decision. He lost the championship, but he's going back to state as the runner-up after winning a true second battle. Kenny Wells was injured at the end of last season, so this was his last chance to get to the big dance. He pinned Dominic Crow of St. Francis in the first round on his way to a second-place finish, and he can get the dancing shoes ready. He's on his way to the XL Energy Center. Carter Skradsky has had a great year, and he was on a mission at sections. He was the runner-up last year, and this year he takes a backseat to no one as a senior. 3 matches, 3 pins. Only the championship went past the first period. He's hoping to keep the momentum going as he heads to state for the 2nd straight season.
That's exciting stuff, and certainly congrats to everyone involved. Congrats to those young men going to state, getting a chance to keep their season alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I mean, Carter Skradsky and Kenny Wells have been 3-year captains for this program. They both put in a ton of work in the offseason. Bridenstine, his first year as a captain, also as a sophomore this year. But as we talked about, he was at state last year. He's going back to state again this year. And he went from 106 up to 133. That's a hefty jump. I'm most excited though for Kenny Wells, who because of an injury didn't make
Didn't get a chance last year.
through the section tournament last year, and he is one of those guys. Just a great young man, works really hard, multi-sport athlete, but he puts in a ton of work in the summers, and that has continued, and it has obviously paid off during the season for both wrestling and football. But now he's got a chance to try and get to that state tournament, or he is in the state tournament, get that state title.
Let's go get him.
Get
the hardware. Well, let's talk some swimming because they've got a state qualifier there as well. While Coach Stronson's captains are competing for the state at the X, his son will be chasing a title of his own over at the U of M. Senior captain Mitch Stronson is swimming and diving is the only qualifier, but the Cardinals had a tremendous showing at sections, posting their best finish in years. Cardinals had one at least swimming qualifier for the finals in 9 of the 12 events. No surprise to see their leaders with multiple chances to swim on Saturday. Johnson was strong in all of his events. He took 3rd in the 200 individual medley with a time of 2 minutes, 4 seconds flat, missed a spot at state by about a second and a half. Junior Jackson Ling had a couple of chances to climb the podium on Saturday as well. He has a great swim in the 100 butterfly, just can't quite keep pace with the duo from Duluth East. Ling's time of 55.57 gets him 3rd. He'll take back another shot next season. It's the hardware there. Nice job. The 500 free has been one of Mitch Stronson's signature events all season long, and he puts his stamp on the race at sections. Stronson's in all alone at 2nd place with a time of 4:57.72. Another piece of hardware, but this one's the key to unlock a trip to state. Well-deserved medal there.
Got to rock the hat.
I was just going to say, got to have the hat. The 400 freestyle relay has been the Cardinals' strongest relay all year long, and they had a great swim at sections. Unfortunately, they came up just short. Tronson tags up third in a time of 3:24.44, less than 0.4 of a second shy of that coveted second place. Tronson, along with fellow senior Nolan Schultz, Ling, who was a junior, and sophomore Michael Courier, get one more medal at the meet. Nice way to finish it, guys.
Yeah, and a fourth place finish overall for the team. And remember, this is a team that coming in and all season long, very low on numbers,
yes,
but the quality of the club was there. That is a much better finish than I think they would have expected at the beginning of the year. It just speaks to Coach Haley Scholl in her first season, and also all of those young men. Nolan Schultz was fifth place in both of his events. Jackson Ling, we saw him get a third place, also had a fourth place finish in the 200 freestyle. Both he and Nolan Schultz were in that freestyle final. Effiam and Butel both in the 100 backstroke final, which is great. Even if they're finishing 7th and 8th, means they qualified for that final swim. And there you see the 200 freestyle relay was 4th place. The medley relay finished in 6th place. But Nolan Schultz and Mitch Tronson, seniors, and along with Connor Butel, but they'll have some pieces back. But Mitch Tronson, his senior year, not quite finished.
No.
He'll be at the Gene K. Freeman Aquatic Center over at the U of M for prelims starting on Thursday.
We wish him luck. He's had a good season.
He has.
Yep.
And it's so interesting because, of course, his dad we've known since before he was born, I believe, that we've known Adam while he was coaching. And I remember the pressure when my son was very young from both Coach Adams and Tronson to, hey, you should get him into you should get him into diet, you should get him into wrestling, get him into. No, I know he's probably going to be a hockey player, and he did end up being a hockey player, not due to my pressure. I promise you.
Well,
but
however,
interesting
you enjoyed
to
that.
see.
You enjoyed that.
100%. But interesting to see that Mitch said, Dad, that's your thing. I'm going to go my own way, and he's really done a great job leading that team. And I know he was one who Coach Scholl has repeatedly praised all season long as being one of those leaders. And it's really about the atmosphere in the pool, in the locker room, and in that team that is going to help it grow and continue to become more successful. So best of luck to all three wrestlers and to young Mr. Tronson at state this year. We'll have at least results, possibly highlights for you next
Hopefully
week
highlights. That'd
on
be nice.
Sportsnight. Well, the boys hockey team drew a rematch against Rogers in the first round of the section tournament last week. Just 5 days after losing to the Royals 8-4 in the regular season finale, the Cardinals laced them up with the season on the line. They knew they could skate with Rogers and score with Rogers, but they know they needed to do it for a full 51 minutes. Both teams had chances in the early goings. Caden Alphin, the speed down the left wing, almost beats the keeper's glove, but it's knocked down and easily cleared. Still in the first, Parker DeSheen gets to the corner, looks back door, doesn't click, but Mason Jensen recovers it off the board, snaps it under the glove far side. Rogers takes the lead. Cardinals threaten less than a minute later. Numbers on the rush, but this pass is going to be into the skates, and they're not able to get a shot on goal. Final minute of the first period, Cole Bumgarner with some slippery moves down the near side, draws the D and dishes. Tap in from Brandon Swanson gives Rogers a cushion after one period. Senior keeper Will Wagner under siege all night long and did all he could to keep the team in it. The Royals moved the puck really well, and they get some fortunate bounces. That one right to Mason Walker with a wide open net. That made it 3-0. Another fortunate bounce late in the period. Smith next centering pass is off the defender's skating in. A demoralizing deflection to make it 4-0. Cardinals nearly get one back in the final seconds. The initial shot was blocked, but they throw it into the middle and create some chaos in the crease. Unfortunately, they just can't poke it home before the buzzer sounds. Royals added a couple more in the third. Cole Bumgarner on the power play. Aiden Dietrich stopped all 21 Cardinal shots, and the season ends with a 6-0 loss in the quarterfinal. And that is tough. They really would have. I mean, it's a tough section to be in.
Really tough
Rogers
section.
is the 3 seed.
Yeah.
Is really, really good.
Yep.
Possibly as good, if not better, than anyone in Section 7, where the Cardinals were just last season.
Yeah, and it's a tough loss to them. You know, they came in flying high. You know, they had lost 8-4 earlier in the week, and they knew they were going to play each other coming into the sections, and I think that they really kind of held some things back. But you know, I was impressed with Rogers. They did a really nice job of controlling that hockey game, and it made it difficult for the Cardinals all night long.
They did, absolutely, and they are a nice hockey team, but they still only got one more game in this tough Section 5 bracket. Maple Grove dispatched Blaine only 3-1 in the first round. I was kind of surprised by that, but they blow past Champlain Park 6-1. You see all the top 4 seeds all advanced. Centennial just dominant in both of their contests. 12-0 over Spring Lake Park, and then 5-1 over Rogers. Both those teams. That's going to be a really good game for a trip to state on Thursday night. Maple Grove versus Centennial. Certainly Section 5 and the Northwest Suburban will be well represented.
Yes,
a good chance still that Northwest Suburban will send 2 because Andover is in the championship in Section 7.
Let's see how it plays out.
Well, girls basketball team will start its section tournament this week. Last week, a couple of games to wrap up the regular season, both at home, both against very tough conference teams. Andover leads the Northwest Suburban, and they handled the Cardinals. They did. 83-49 the final in that one. Helen Benton had 13 points, 8 boards. Jada Gaskins added 11. 6 points each for Aaliyah Graham and Sophia Smith. Bierman and Green each added 5. And then on Friday night, they hosted Champlain Park. A little bit closer, but still a 22-point loss at the hands of the Rebels. Yeah, she's been phenomenal all season. 22.5 points per game. She has been an outstanding addition to this club, helping them to that 9-17 record. They would have liked to have stolen one of these last 4 or 5 games. They knew from the very beginning of the season, you know, when they looked at the schedule, you look at the way you close. Yes, you have a lot of home games to close out your regular season, but you're seeing teams that are some of those really tough teams in your conference, and to get away with one would have been big. Going into the section, don't know a lot about much of anyone in the section. Totino Grace, the only team the Cardinals have faced this season. They will open as the number 6 seed, traveling to take on Fridley. Becker is the number 1 seed, and they will host the winner of the play-in game between St. Francis and Zimmerman. Totino, the number 4 seed, gets Princeton, and Monticello will host Big Lake. So going into that game, Howie, on Thursday night, and we will be there.
We will be there.
We don't know a ton what to expect. A quick look, Fridley's a little better than 500, couple games over 500, have played well enough, obviously, to earn a number 3 seed in a home game in the playoffs. They've won 6 of their last 8. They're gonna be coming in hot. That much we know. But the Cardinals, how much, even in losses, does playing that added level of competition help come playoff time?
You know, I think it helps a lot. And obviously, Fridley coming in on a little bit of a hot streak and getting the home court advantage, obviously to their favor. I chatted a little bit back and forth with Coach Bierman on the matchup, and I said, how much do you know about it? He said, I know a little bit, but I'm very familiar with some of them from AAU ball. And so, he thinks that it's going to be a tight matchup. I think that Helen Ben's going to have to come out and have her usual game, but I think it's really going to be important for other pieces on that team to pick up some slack and score some points, because it can't always be Helen night in and night out.
Yeah, and Helen will get her points.
Oh, absolutely.
But they need to have strong contributions from a number of other contributors.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it should be fun. Well, the boys basketball team closes out the regular season this week, and they need a couple of wins to get back to 500. The Cardinals had 2 tough losses on the road last week, and it started with a trip to Andover. The Huskies were below the Cardinals in the section standings, but they're also the 2-time defending section champs. Andover jumping to the lead early. Their big man had a huge night. Luke Deneke with a 2-handed jam, his first points of the game. The teams traded the lead through the early going, and they traded some big blows. Jackson Young hits from the way outside. It's all even at that point. Jason Russ had a big night for the Cardinals, one of 3 guys with double-doubles against Andover. Russ battles his way to the rim on this one. He had 11 points and 11 boards. He also had a pair of blocks. Late in the half, Russ's shot blocked. Huskies fire it down court. Deneke behind the D, lays it in. Huskies to the break, up 37-33. They're going to stretch the lead right away to start the second. A couple of big three-pointers helped them get in front by as much as 17 points. Coon Rapids never out, though. Young, another big three. He had a team-high 22 points, also 11 boards. Nice shot there, and then Jerry Freeman also a double-double with 13 and 10. But Andover holds on down the stretch, heading the Cardinals at 76-67 loss. Tough one.
Yeah, could see each other again come section time, but yeah, Luke Deneke is a tough one to contain.
He's a big boy.
20 boards.
Yeah.
20 boards. He was a monster. I think he finished with 17 points, 20 boards.
Yeah.
Pemberton,
nice
I think it was, that finished with 22 or 23 for them.
Yeah, and he just came back from injury, so that's a huge plus for Andover as well.
So they've got some guys who can definitely put the ball in the net. You know, you thought after Ben graduated you might have a break from the Kasperskis, but Kopetskis.
Yep.
Yeah, not so much. His brother's going to be a player too. He's just a sophomore, and he did some damage last night.
Yeah,
or on Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. Yep.
Well, or Wednesday night. Was it Wednesday night?
No, I think it was Tuesday.
No, it was Wednesday night.
Was it Wednesday? It was one night last week.
It was one night last week. All right, it was
Wednesday.
Tuesday. It was Wednesday.
We're being told it was Wednesday.
Yep, it was Wednesday.
Because
on Friday.
It was a day that I didn't know why. I know for that.
It was on Friday.
Sure.
It was Wednesday, and then Thursday we were at the hockey game.
Oh, that's right. And then
on Friday, the Cardinals were at Champlin, taking on the Rebels in a tight one. But they come up short, losing by 6. Jackson Young, another fantastic game. He's been just outstanding the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yep.
Just his game, he started really strong at the beginning of the year, but he has put it on another level and really doing a nice job to lead this team. Jerry Freeman is with him step for step. Jason Russ, another double-double, 15 points, 10 boards.
Yep.
That is what the Cardinals need right there. Not just a third contributor putting up double-digit points, but also getting boards. And I know Coach O has talked about it in some halftime interviews. Their rebounding needs to be better, and that becomes more important as you get to the postseason. Cardinals are at Sartell on Thursday, and then they will host Anoka on Friday. Unfortunately,
we're not going to be there.
We will not.
We originally were going to, unfortunately.
But unfortunately, scheduling concerns, we are unable to be there, but we wish the Cardinals the best, and we will have all the results for you next week on Sports Night. Here's where we're going to be this week. We're at Fridley on Thursday for the girls basketball playoffs. Next week, we'll be following the boys as far as they go in the section tournament, or as far as we are allowed to cover them. Hey, who knows? We could also have additional girls basketball playoffs moving forward should the Cardinals be able to pull off that upset. We certainly hope that they can, and we definitely wish the best again to our 3 wrestlers, Jack Bridenstine, Carter Skradsky, and Kenny Wells, and our 1 swimmer, Mitch Stronson, as they all compete in this week's state championship events. Best of luck to all of them. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTM. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young. Say good night.